What is diversification? Diversification simply is the idea of owning different asset classes to increase your returns and decrease the volatility of your portfolio. There's all kinds of things we can invest in the world. There's stocks, there's bonds, there's funds of stocks and bonds, there's real estate, there's commodities, there's stocks here and there's stocks abroad. And by owning different percentages of those different asset classes, we don't buy commodities, but we buy the other things. By owning different percentages of those different asset classes, you could increase your returns over time and decrease the portfolio volatility. So if you owned one stock, even if it was a great stock, your portfolio is going to go up and down every day, probably a lot. If you own two stocks, your volatility will probably go down a little bit. If you own 1,000 stocks, your volatility is going to go down a lot. You incorporate bonds, it's going to go down further. Now, when I say diversification, what I mean is, within those different asset classes, you also have to have different individual holdings, whether they're funds or stocks. You can't have one stock and one bond and one real estate investment. You really need to have a bunch of different ones. And there's an old saying that diversification is the only free lunch in investing. So it doesn't really cost you much, if anything, to own multiple investments, and you're going to get better returns and less volatility. I keep saying that volatility word. What is that? That is the amount by which your portfolio varies on a daily basis. And so if you have high volatility, well, people get scared by that. Everybody likes high volatility on the upside, but there's volatility on the downside, and people get freaked out. So you need to have stocks from different places, and you have bonds from different places, and it will decrease your overall volatility, and it will give you a much better ride. Diversification really is the only free lunch in investing, and I'd recommend that you do it.